First got no copy.
This is a charge of possession of less than 25 grams of fentanyl. And there's also a fourth offense notice. It's my understanding the defense wishes to proceed with the preliminary exam, correct?
That is correct.
Any preliminary matters, Mr. Mohammed?
Yes, Judge, as a preliminary matter, I'm going to request a mutual order of sequestration with an exception for Detective Mark Driscoll.
Any objection?
Detective Driscoll is the officer in charge.
Also, with the exception of Detective Driscoll and the defendant, all other witnesses must leave the courtroom. It doesn't appear as though there's any. There's one lawyer, one defense lawyer. And then there's another young man who's going to be a lawyer in about 2 weeks when the bar results come out.
And Judge, just so the court is aware, Detective Dawn
Shapaniak?
Japaniak is the initial officer in charge. Detective Driscoll is just standing there.
Okay, good enough. Anything else, Mr. Piecki?
No, I believe he has stipulations.
Correct. And Your Honor, pursuant to the stipulation with the defense counsel, I'm seeking to introduce into evidence People's Exhibits 1 through 4. Exhibit number 1 is a copy of the mobile detect test in this case, which is page 8 of the discovery packet, and it indicates that the drug recovered tested positive for fentanyl. People's Exhibit number 2 is a copy of the clear bag that was recovered in this case, and that's from page 9 of the discovery packet. People's Exhibit number 3 is a copy of the scale with the drugs on top of it, which is People's Exhibit number 3, and that's page 12. And People's Exhibit number 4, which is page 13 in the discovery packet, is a copy of a photo of the scene of the crime.
Okay, good enough.
And just for
And you stipulate to the admission of those for exam purposes.
For exam purposes, but I want to clarify that in terms of the results, the one photograph that has the results, we're agreeing that that is a photograph of the results, but we're not agreeing that those results are actually accurate.
I understand, but for exam purposes, no objection to the admission. People's 1, 2, 3, and 4 are admitted.
Thank you.
Any other preliminary matters?
No, not these people.
Counsel?
Not in the defense. Your
Okay, call your first witness.
But for the people's first witness, we call Miss Ariel Ashland.
Right out the gate, this case hinges on intent, not just taking the cigarettes, but whether he actually meant to steal them. And here's the twist. He never even tried to pay, but he also never left the store. So what does that mean legally? Stick around because this gets complicated fast.
You solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God. All right, have a seat, please. Can you spell your first and last name for us?
ARIELASHLIN.
Thank you. You can proceed, Mr. Mohammed.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. I'm going to take you back to the date of June 5th, 2025. Were you at or near the location of 1700 West Road?
Yes, sir, exactly.
Is that located in the city of Trenton, county of Wayne?
Yes, sir.
And what were you doing at that location on that date?
I am the shift lead for the store, and I was working today.
And on that date, when you were working at that location, did you observe something that drew your attention?
Yes, sir. I was at the photo lab with a clear direct line.
Can you keep your voice up just a little bit?
Sorry, yes. I was at the photo lab with a clear direct line of sight towards our front registers, and I saw a hand raise up from behind the counter, and I saw an individual taking cigarettes down, which we keep behind the counter.
Okay, and what kind of store was this?
Walgreens.
And that individual that you had observed grabbing the cigarettes, do you see that individual in the courtroom today?
Yes, behind you.
Can you please point out an article of clothing that person is wearing?
He is wearing brown sandals.
And can you please point to that individual? Your Honor, please let the record Your Honor, please let the record reflect that the witness has pointed to and identified the defendant by an article.
Record should so reflect.
Thank you.
This is where the defense starts building a clever argument. He didn't run, he didn't leave, he was still shopping. But let me ask you, if someone stuffs 19 packs of cigarettes into their jacket, are they shopping or are they planning something else? Drop your opinion below, because this is exactly what the judge is weighing.
And at any point, did you ever observe the defendant attempt to make a payment for those cigarettes?
No, sir.
No further question.
Cross?
Morning, Ms. Akron. How are you this morning?
I'm all right.
If at any time you can't hear me, just let me know, okay?
Yes, sir.
Great. Now, you said that you had seen my client reaching up and grabbing some cigarettes, correct? And you had said you direct line of sight.
Yes.
Okay. Did you see any other of your coworkers there helping him?
No, sir.
Okay. So there's nobody around to help him get cigarettes.
No, sir.
So he took some on his own then. You read that statement.
Yes.
Okay. And then you, at any point, did he ever leave the store?
No, sir.
Okay. Is the cash register, is it toward the front of the store?
Yes.
Okay. And he never walked past the cash register out the door.
No, sir.
So when you had indicated that you thought he was stealing cigarettes, you really never had a chance. You really don't know that because he didn't not pay and walk out. You agree that?
Yes.
You agree?
Can you rephrase your question, please? I'm sorry.
Okay. He never walked out of the store and stole the cigarettes, fair?
He did not walk out of the store, but they were put into his jacket at the time.
Okay. I mean, I saw a photograph, lots of cigarettes, right? Okay.
Is that a yes?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Did he have a shopping cart or a basket with him or anything like that?
No, he had a bag that he brought in.
So something to carry.
Yes.
So what you can affirmably tell this court is that no one was there to help him. He helped himself to some cigarettes, which probably the store doesn't want, but he did it. And he was still in the store when the police came. Is that all correct?
Yes.
All right. And at no point did he try to run out of the store and steal the cigarettes.
No.
Okay. And he didn't have a shopping cart, so he put them in his pocket to carry around. Is that fair?
Yes.
Great, Ms. Ashton. Those are the questions I had for you. Thank you.
Ma'am, at the time you had observed the defendant obtain this pack of cigarettes, did you see exactly where he went to obtain the cigarettes from?
He stayed behind the register, and we found him in the large aisle in the middle of the store as he was still walking around.
And do shoppers have permission to go behind the register?
No, sir.
Is that for employees only?
Yes.
No further questions.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah. You said something earlier that I didn't catch, maybe that's my mind here. You said that there was a register there.
Yes.
Okay, and then does it make sense that the door is right there as well?
Yes.
Okay, so he was at this, grabbed the cigarettes by the register, and instead of walking out the door to steal them, went back in to continue shopping.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. I'm just trying.
You can step down. Thank you.
If I can, quick follow-up. And ma'am, where specifically did you observe the defendant put the cigarettes?
In his jacket. On his person.
He didn't put it in the cart, correct? Understood.
You can step down. Thank you. Call your next witness.
People called Officer McLeod.
Thank you for coming, ma'am.
Just thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that.
Hey there, sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to take a moment to let you know that TCF is a channel that is 100% human created and human driven. There's so much AI slop out there on YouTube right now, especially in the LawTube space, that I think it's important to point out that every video that we have here on this channel is human created, human curated. We make all the decisions, we do all the editing. It's all us. So if you appreciate that human touch and that human interaction, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you aren't already. Leave us a comment on the video, put a thumbs up. Those things really help us. And if you want even more human interaction, consider joining us for our live show every weekday morning. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Back to the video.
Right up to the witness chair here, please. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you'll give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God.
Okay.
Have a seat, please. Can you just spell your last name for us, please?
MACLEOD.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Officer McLeod, can you please restate your name for the record?
Officer Evan McLeod.
Officer, are you currently employed?
Yes.
Who's your employer?
Trenton Police Department.
And in what capacity are you employed there?
A police officer.
Were you employed in that capacity as a police officer on June 5th, 2025?
Yes.
You worked that date?
Yes.
You worked that date by yourself or with a partner?
I rode by myself.
On that date, did you work in full uniform or modified uniform?
Full uniform.
Did you operate a scout vehicle or did you work foot patrol?
Scout vehicle.
Did your duties as a police officer on the date of June 5th, 2025 take you at or near the location of 1700 West Road?
Yes.
Is that located in the city of Trenton, county of Wayne?
Yes.
What's at that location?
Walgreens.
And what took you to that location?
A dispatch call.
And what was the nature of the dispatch call?
Dispatch call was reference to a male stealing items from behind the counter.
And did you learn pursuant to your investigation what specifically those items were?
Cigarettes.
And when you made that location, what did you do, if anything?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
When you made that location of 1700 West Road, what did you do, if anything?
When I got there, I made contact with the caller who was the employee.
And what did you learn?
I learned that a male was stealing, or she advised that a person was stealing items from behind the counter and
Were you-
pointed the male out.
Were you able to locate that individual?
Yes.
Do you see that individual in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you please point to that individual and point out an article of clothing that person is wearing?
Yes, he's seated right there, green bottoms and green top.
Your Honor, please let the record reflect that the witness has pointed to and identified the defendant.
Record should so reflect.
Thank you. And did you make contact with the defendant when you were at the location?
Yes.
How did that begin?
I located him in the aisles and based on information from the clerk, I detained him in handcuffs.
And what specifically did you do next?
I handcuffed him and then I searched the person and located the cigarettes on him.
And where did you locate the cigarettes?
They were stuffed into his shirt.
And based on your training and experience, is an individual tucking a pack of cigarette inside their shirt indicative and
Based on my training and experience, that would be that they were attempting to steal them.
and did you discover anything else pursuant to your investigation?
Yes, I also located a clear plastic baggie with multiple white pills and a white powdered substance that I suspected to be cocaine.
Your Honor, may I approach?
You may.
The exhibits? Yeah. Officer, I'm handing you what's been marked as People's Proposed Exhibit number 3. I'd like you to take an opportunity and review it. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
I don't recognize it.
it's the baggie that I found on Mr. Malkowski.
Is that a fair and accurate depiction of the baggie you found on that individual?
Yes.
Does that appear to be altered or manipulated in any way?
No.
Thank you. And sir, upon making that recovery, what did you do next?
I placed him under arrest
What for?
for violation of the Controlled Substance Act.
And why did you conduct an arrest based on that? What led you to conduct the arrest based off of the substance? What about the substance led you to believe it was anything?
Just based on my training and experience.
And can you describe what that item was specifically?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Can you describe the clear bag? What about the clear bag led you to conduct an arrest?
It's where drugs are commonly held.
Can you describe the items inside of the bag?
They're approximately 3.5 pills and a white powdery substance.
And what about that led you to believe that it was drugs?
Based off my training experience,
What kind of drugs did you suspect that it was?
I suspected it to be cocaine.
And did you do anything to further your investigation and determine whether or not it was cocaine or any kind of a drug?
Once we were back at the station, I field tested it with the mobile detect field kit, and it returned with, it was positive for fentanyl.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You can.
Sir, I've handed you what's been marked as People's Exhibit number 1. I'd like you to take an opportunity and review that. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
How do you recognize it?
it's the results from the field test that I performed.
And what did you learn upon conducting a field test on the drugs that you recovered, or the suspected drugs at the time that you had recovered?
The white powdery substance that I tested resulted in it tested positive for fentanyl.
And is that test result a fair and accurate depiction of the results that you concluded upon testing the drugs in question?
Yes,
Does that appear to be altered or manipulated in any way?
no,
No further questions from this witness.
Ross?
Borrow that one photograph, there's one exhibit, but you have all the photographs? Oh, great, let me, oh. Thank you, Your Honor. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Take a look at that picture for me.
What did you show him? What document? What exhibit?
I'm sorry. I handed him what's been marked as exhibit 4. The photograph of the cigarettes. Officer, you took that photo?
I don't believe I did. I'm not sure.
Okay. The mix is singing though, right?
Yes,
And those are the cigarettes that my client had on them?
yes, sir.
Well, how many packs of cigarettes?
I think it was approximately 19.
Did he have a cart?
No.
Little buggy, did he have a little damn basket underneath that?
I don't recall.
It's against the law to shop and not use a basket.
No,
It's against the law to shop and not use button.
no.
Okay. And if he wishes to buy 19 packs of cigarettes, or to carry, fair? Fair. So, when you arrived at Walgreens, where did you park the patrol vehicle?
Next to the building.
Right in front, and then you walked in directly?
Yeah.
Okay. At any point, did you observe my client outside the building?
No,
When you first observed my client, what was he doing?
he was walking down the aisles.
Continuing to shop.
I didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
I asked him to stop and he walked away.
So you issued an order to detain him by asking him to stop?
Yes.
What's the basis for issuing that order?
Based on the information I received from the caller who was employed.
And so the caller had said that there was the person who had taken cigarettes from behind the counter.
Yes, sir.
Is it illegal to take cigarettes from behind the counter?
Generally speaking, you would get them from the employee.
That's not the question I asked you. I asked you, is it illegal to take cigarettes from behind the counter?
From behind the counter. I'm not sure in that sense if there's a sign.
I'm not asking about Walgreens policy. Now, you'll probably have a suspicion of what the policy is. I'm asking you, under Michigan law, federal law, or any law that you've been trained under, is it a violation of law to take a cigarette from behind the counter?
No.
Okay. So you stopped him on what basis then? If it's not against the law to take the cigarettes down and he's continuing to shop, what was the basis for your stop?
Basis was that he was concealing them and going to walk out of the store with them.
Now, you just said he was going to walk out of the store with them. Where in the store did you encounter?
It was in the middle of the store.
And the door was up front. So how do you know he was going to go out? Or you just kind of guessing?
Based off my training experience,
You have training inside of Walmart, what the shopping patterns are inside of Walmart?
yes,
Okay, you don't. In fact, professional marketers have training how people do in Walmart so they know where to put stuff. But you, on the other hand, do not. Yeah. Fair, fair. Okay. So you issued an order to stop him based on something that wasn't even illegal. No. So you're now saying it is illegal to take cigarettes from behind the counter? I thought we covered this.
I think he's answered this, right? He said his knowledge was that they were concealed. You can't. I mean, he's answered this question a couple times.
It changed the answer, though, Judge, too. So I'm telling you, get into that. So-
Okay, go ahead.
So my client is carrying cigarettes around inside the store. Granted, not in a buggy or in a basket, but he's placed them inside his pockets of his shirt. He's walking around shopping. Are we tracking so far? Again, you stop him and arrest him.
I detained him.
What's the difference between detaining and arresting?
I detained him that there was reasonable suspicion that he was committing a crime.
And that suspicion was because he'd taken cigarettes from behind him.
I think he already answered this. He concealed them, right?
Well, that's his charge, Judge. I'm using carry. I'm a little.
Well, he said they were stuffed in his shirt. The clerk said that they were stuffed in his jacket, or he concealed them in his jacket. I don't know where you're going. I mean, I don't want to stop you, but
Well, he also said 19 cigarettes, Judge. How are you going to carry around 19 cigarettes? You got to carry them somehow. And when you put them in your jacket, put them in your pockets, he's carrying them around. And so,
it's like bubble gum, right? I mean, remember the old bazooka bubble gum? I mean, if I stuff 19 of those in my pockets, I certainly have the intent to steal, don't I? Okay, all right.
here's the thing, Judge. And I think we're transitioning the argument. He's been stealing. We had the one say right by the door. He walked out the door.
Okay, go ahead. Continue your questions. You can argue when you're done.
Yeah, I apologize, Judge.
You're fine.
Jumping to conclusions, but I think we both know where we're going with this. I'm a little disappointed. I'm not feeling it, but we'll see. So, when did you arrest him?
I arrested him, I placed him under arrest after I located the suspected cocaine.
To locate the cocaine or the suspected cocaine, you had to search him.
Yes.
Okay, where did you search him?
I searched one of his pockets. I don't recall which pocket it was that I located.
No, where you?
In the middle of the aisle.
Really? So I had him up the store now.
Correct.
And you searched him. Did you handcuff him first?
Yes.
So at the point you handcuffed him, you arrested him.
I was detaining him at that point.
And when you handcuffed him, he was no longer free to go.
Correct.
Okay. You read his rights?
No.
Okay. And you searched him, and what was the reason you handcuffed him?
The reason I handcuffed him was on the reasonable suspicion that he was stealing cigarettes.
Officer, I thank you for your time, man. Those are the questions I have for you. I think Your Honor had a good idea of this,
Redirect, if any.
No, thank you.
You can step down. Call your next witness.
No further witnesses.
People move the bind over.
Correct.
Any argument?
Yes, Judge. It's fruit of the poisonous tree. We have clearly heard from the employee there that no one was there to help my client, so he helped himself, not a crime. The Walgreens doesn't agree with it. It doesn't rise to the level of a crime. Then it continued to shop. He goes around. Now, granted, he didn't grab a buggy. He didn't grab a basket, and he wants 19 packs of cigarettes, right? So he's carrying around 19 packs of cigarettes, and he puts them in his pocket. They use the stuffed down the shirt. They use some very, some creative adjectives here. But what we didn't hear from people is my client had the ability to take for it. They searched him. They didn't enter with any evidence for you to decide whether.
What's the ability to pay for it have to do with him?
Well, if he's got the.
So if I have $100 in my pocket and I go in and steal $82 worth of items and conceal them and walk around the store, you mean to tell me I had the ability to pay for it, so they shouldn't charge me?
No, Judge, let me explain. If you have $100 in your pocket and you grab some things and you're walking, in your words, you're walking around the store, which means you want to continue to shop.
Concealed.
You're gonna.
You keep forgetting the word concealed, stuffed into his shirt, stuffed into his jacket. You can't conceal items.
That's carrying, Judge.
Uh,
I mean, how do you get a carry if you got all those things? It's not a crime not to have a basket. And he had the opportunity, or their own witness, he's right by the door. If he was going to steal it, he walked out. Instead, he's continuing to shop. He's got the stuff he wants to buy, carrying it with him, and they stop it. And I think to stop it, I don't think there's probable cause to stop them. I think the arrest was against the law, it was an illegal arrest, and the rest of it's fruit of the poisonous tree. It'd be a different story if he'd gone outside and passed the last point of sale. There's no charge for retail fraud here. What you had here is a guy that didn't grab a basket, walking around the store, continuing to shop, needs his hands to shop, so he's carrying the stuff he intends to buy in his jacket.
You can't infer an intent to steal when somebody takes something and puts and conceals them in their pockets or their shirts or their.
Not on these facts, Judge, when he's right by the door, and instead of choosing to go out the door, he chooses to continue to shop.
Okay.
So I
Right.
don't believe that there's probable cause to, or I actually, it's more technically, it's a move to suppress.
I know, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Go ahead. Any response?
Yes, Your Honor, the people to object defense's request, I believe, there's shopping carts for a reason at the store. And in this case, that wasn't applied. Additionally, I want to highlight that the defendant not only stuffed these packs of cigarettes inside of his shirt or his jacket, but he went behind the counter. To me, that...
I honestly don't need to hear anymore. Defendant went behind the counter. He pulled out cigarettes. There's no evidence whatsoever that would lead anybody under these facts to conclude you can go behind the counter at a store. He takes out the cigarettes. The clerk sees him stuffing them in his jacket. The officer finds them stuffed into his shirt. If that isn't reasonable suspicion to believe that a retail fraud was being committed, you don't have to leave the store. I mean, you mean to tell me that any clerk that's following anybody around, and I'm talking about an investigator, say at Myers or another big store, sees somebody conceal the items inside of their shirt or their pants, has to wait until when they went behind or when they passed the points of purchase? That is not the law. There was nothing wrong about this. It's clearly that infers an intent to commit a retail fraud, and the officer had the right under those circumstances to pat him down. He found him, he arrested him when he believed it to be the fentanyl. So I'm going to bind the defendant over for further proceedings to the circuit court. Is this the only thing he's in custody on, your client, or does he have other holds?
That's my understanding, it's just the charge.
So October 21 will be the AOI date. Of course, he has a thick packet here too. He must have quite a criminal history, huh? Wow. Yeah, I can't lower this bond. Bond's continued. AOI date will be October 21. October 21. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very